What's up everyone, Majantaj here bringing you a quick video on how to beat the WarPriest in the King's Fall raid. First things first, when you run in you'll see 3 plates, one right there in the middle, one right here on the right, and then I'm going to run up and around so you can see the one on the top left. At least one person on your fire team needs to stand on each one at the same time to actually summon the boss, and he will spawn from the back door like so. This will start the actual fight. You want to split up into 3 teams of 2, 2 on the right, 2 on the top left, and then 2 down in the middle. And you cannot actively damage the boss on this part, so your objective is to just stay safe and clear out all of the ads. I'm right here in this spot to show you that it's not very safe. The ads will come at you and the boss can still shoot at you. So for at least me and my guy down in the middle, my man Sporadic, we like to be right under the ledge where the boss is and just have each other's back and kill all of the ads that way. You can see my 2 guys on the top right, Rayos and Zoo, they like to be right up in the enemy spawn. It really doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as you stay safe. The enemies down at the bottom are mostly melee focused. You have knights with the sword, thralls, and a few cursed thralls. On the sides you will have all of those, plus a few acolytes and wizards, so the guys on the side need to be extra careful. The main enemy you want to look out for are the yellow hollowed knights. There will be 3 in total, 1 on each side, and then 1 in the center. There's ours right there. All 3 of these hollowed knights have to be dead to go into the glyph phase, which will start the damage phase. Once all the knights are dead, you will see glyph sequence started, and one person needs to run behind these huge totems and look at the back of them. They will light up in the order they need to be stepped on. You will see the light on the top right first, and then the middle, and then the left. So I'm going to run over to the left to show you the damage phase, but before that, a short clip on what happens if you get the sequence wrong. So here we are down in the middle. We have the glyph sequence started now. I look at this middle one to make sure it's not the correct one. It's not. I step on the middle, it lights blue, but then it turns red quickly and actively damages you. That's how you know that you messed the sequence up. It will also say glyph released, sequence broken on the bottom left. That's when everyone needs to get off and retry the sequence. Since you can look back at it and see which one lights up, I don't foresee anyone really having a problem with this. Just make sure that you call out the people by name who need to step on it, since you will be looking back and they'll be looking forward. Left and right could really confuse people, so try not to do that. Okay, so back to the actual damage phase. The last person to touch the last plate where the glyph sequence ends gets the Brand of the Initiate buff. Everyone else should come into his red circle because that's the only way you can damage the boss. The person with the Brand of the Initiate has the important job of maximizing the amount of time you can DPS the boss. If you see it down at the bottom left, it says Brand of the Initiate. Right now it says ×4. Now it went down to ×3 and it has a 10-second timer for each one. Every time you kill an enemy, it will restart the 10-second timer until you run out of times. If the 10-second timer runs out and you do not kill an ad, you will die and it will pass the buff on. So try not to die, but make sure that you kill an enemy right as the timer is about to go down to maximize the amount of time your teammates have. Very important. Once all of that is done, you need to get you and your fire team in between the totem and the big black ball behind it. The black ball will emit a bright white light that will kill anything that is not within the shadow that any of the totems cast, and then the totem will be dissolved. After that, you and your fire team should jump back down into your groups and continue doing what you're doing before, basically starting all over, killing the ads until the next glyph phase. One thing to note, there are 3 totems in total. That means for 3 damage phases you will be protected by the light. On the 4th damage phase there will be nowhere for you to run, meaning if your team cannot do at least 25% damage for each damage phase that you have on the boss, it will be almost impossible for you guys to be able to beat this fight. So we're going to skip some standing around and get right into the glyph phase. We will kill the WarPriest during this damage phase. So just like before, kill all of the knights and then have one person go behind the totems to let everybody know the order of the sequence. For this last one we will have the top right first and then the left. If the totem has already been dissolved, everyone will see a huge fire, and then the middle is last. A few things that I think are worth noting. Tethers are great. If you don't already know, tethers cause you to do crit damage anywhere on the body and extra crit damage if you hit the target that is tethered on the head. It will help you burn any boss or any target down a lot quicker. Sniper rifles are always great. They should be your go-to special to do that extra damage. And I think scout rifles are the best as they don't have much damage drop off at all, whereas auto rifles and hand cannons have had a range nerf, so they won't do as much damage since you're a little further away from the boss. One of our teammates just died, so remember to be careful. There's not a lot of ads at the bottom, but they will be shooting at you. Also, the boss can still hit you. A dead teammate means a loss in DPS, so just make sure you protect yourself if you are getting hit. And that's pretty much the entirety of the fight. One quick thing before I go. Here's a video of an earlier run we did. If you get the WarPriest health down to a certain point but you do not kill him, the room will be covered in this fog and Taken will spawn instead of the regular enemies that have been spawning. There will be about 4 waves of them, and then a tortured knight will spawn, a yellow barred knight instead of the hollowed knight. He takes the place of the hollowed knight, kill all 3 of them, and then the glyph phase will start, and then you go into the damage phase just like before. That's the only difference. It seems to activate once its health gets maybe below 25%, and that's really all there is to the fight. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that this video was helpful to you and your fire team, or maybe that you learned something new. Again, me and the guys do raid help over at our streams all the time, and I will link my stream in the description of this video. So go out there, guys, beat the WarPriest, get that loot. I'm out.